Got everyone. My name is Azareth. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm just going to be doing a random read. I'm planning on keeping it a bit shorter. Sorry if it gets to 20 minutes and I decided to cut the reading there, and it's dissatisfaction to you guys and as well as me, because I like to do long reads, but no one wants to sit through a whole hour's worth of a video. So I'm just going to do a 20-minute reading and keep it at that. And if I feel like that I want the reading to continue, I'm going to do a part 2. And if you feel like feel called to go to part 2, then it will be there. So anyway, today we're just going to do a random read. We're going to see what energies we pick up on, and I shall decipher and give out any messages that are needed. So yeah, I'd say let's just get into this. So there's new, sort of embarking, like an impulsive embark towards something. This could be towards someone else. This could be towards impulsively reaching out for more knowledge and taking quick action on it. Like you could be thinking about going away and going into study or something, as an example. And it's something you've been really thinking about in the past, and maybe you're sick of actually sitting around and not doing anything about it, and realizing if I keep doing this and just thinking about it and be like, oh, maybe I should start doing this and this and this and this, then nothing comes out of it, then you kind of just go in this whole cycle. It's a whole loop over and over and over and over again. So you don't really get anywhere. And maybe that's where you're realizing that you are needing to take swift action towards this. And I feel like whatever this knowledge that you're wanting to gain, it's something that actually fulfills you quite a lot. Like it's an emotional fulfillment. Like again, it's something that you've been thinking about for a while. You've potentially been contemplating this whatever this is, this whatever you're thinking about doing, whatever you think about learning or trying to understand. You could be getting into abstract concepts, or something. You could be going further into your own spiritual development and trying to understand, I guess, reality itself from your own point of perspective as an individual. Like, what do you individually see reality as? And that's a journey for all of us to take individually. And I feel like this is part of it. Like, you're actually taking a journey, and then you start to, because maybe you're dissatisfied with the actual what, as an example, what people think or make you think reality is, because sometimes people just go through their entire lives without questioning anything, and it's important to question stuff. So perhaps by you taking this swift action and just going for being spontaneous towards trying to do research on something, like as soon as you feel the impulse, it looks like you do it, and it's really quick, swift action, very impulsive, but you're gaining knowledge out of this, which brings in this just emotional satisfaction, and you're able to view things, and it will even develop your compassion for people. This could be you looking into field of psychology or some kind of health care, or you could be thinking of being a nurse or something that's going to help and heal people, and because you feel empathetic and you care about people, And again, this is something that moves on, where it brings in this this form of stability, because you've actually taken that action. Instead of just going over in your head for a period of time, you actually take the time to be like, what, screw it. You get that impulse, you follow it. It's your instincts coming in and telling you and how to move forward. Empress, yeah, it puts you in a very powerful position. The Empress is very wise. She's very compassionate. She's caring. She's very intellectual as well, And I feel like that's pretty much the aim in all this. You are the Empress, and you're trying to make these. You've been sitting in a place where you feel like you need to be doing more. that could be for the fact that you've got a bit more time on your hands, and maybe you're not spending your time as wisely. That would be more satisfactory to you if you were to do certain things, but you don't, because there might be some barriers involved and you don't understand where it's coming from. And it's probably from the lack of just listening to your instincts and being spontaneous. You might think and feel like, oh, I want to sit and actually do research on this stuff, but then you think about, for some reason, you just go and do something completely different from what it is that you actually want to do, which you know will bring the satisfaction to you. And again, if this is to do with your spiritual journey, then that's you realizing that there's gaps in places, there's gaps in stuff that you've been taught from what you've been taught, like from what society's taught you, what your parents have taught you, when you're actually realizing like this isn't actually satisfactory to me. There's something about this that isn't very on point. And so you go away to learn the stuff, to try filling in the gaps and even get rid of old things that only create old patterns, new ideas, Ace of Swords, new thoughts, new sort of like new concepts. This could be you going away, learning about certain things, and then be actually having epiphanies in the moment, and then making them, like adding that into your mindset. You know, this could be you trying to build upon yourself, and even in your internal mind, trying to build a stable psychological foundation for yourself, filling in the gaps and removing things that aren't necessary. But you're ultimately the empress when you do this. Like, you're probably an empress already, but it's like there's something that you feel is lacking. There's something that's not quite right, and it's inside you. And maybe you've kept on thinking it's something on the exterior, and you don't understand that it is something on the internal. And it's not until you actually recognize that internal instinctual feeling within you and actually identify it, and then conceptualize it and see how it's actually affecting you in your life. It's not until you do that to actually take that action. So that's one of the messages. One of them. It could continue. 7 minutes. 7:22 and a look. Because you're dissatisfied. Yeah, like 3 of Cups under the Page of Pentacles. This lady here, she's like this one here. Like, look at her. She's kind of like, I like the cup, you know, I like the cup, but it's not as satisfying as what you really like. And then under the swift actions, the 10 of Cups this is what brings you into your emotional fulfillment. When you listen to this instinctual thing inside you that's telling you to gain more, learn more knowledge on something, try to understand something more, take more time to actually learn the things you want to learn. Even building that mindset and frame set, like don't ever stop learning, because learning is so important. Or don't, I watched a video the other day which is actually kind of relevant. It's like, don't stop questioning everything. There's reasons for everything, and sometimes we just do things without actually thinking or asking, why do we do these things? There's been a bunch of study on the tribes in the past, and this is something like Carl Jung did. This is something that he figured out within his psychological studies when he went to South Africa. I believe it was South Africa. He studied with tribes at least, and something that he realized is that a lot of them just did stuff without actually questioning why. They didn't know why they did it. They just did it because it was something that was done through generations. Like with their religious and spiritual practices, especially, like they just did it. They didn't know why. And maybe that's where, like, because they never question why are we doing this? And maybe that's what's coming in, because instinctually you're wanting to ask these questions, because you're unsatisfied with the answers that you have received about your own world and you as an individual and how you perceive things. Five of Wands on the bottom, like it is a conflict. It is some kind of conflict with it's within you, and it's partly probably because of the conditioning that you've had, you know. Yeah, I'd seen a couple wanted to come out earlier as well. through you get Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands twice. It's because you're listening to your instincts more as well. That's part of it. You know, it is also you being able to view these things and understanding things in a certain way, and you're actually feeling into the emotion of stuff. Like there's two sides to reality. You know, you got your brain. There's two sides of your brain. One of them's your emotion, and your creativity. It's your expression. The other one's the one that organizes and sorts things out. And where we are conditioned to be logical, be rational about something. And I feel like this is you getting into new concepts, new ideas, and actually allowing yourself to emotionally feel into these things and understand the weight that's actually behind stuff, instead of just kind of like, oh yeah, just taking it in as knowledge, like, and then not being able to do anything with it. Especially if you're getting into depth psychology, you're trying to heal things inside you that you know are not right, that don't create a stable foundation within yourself. 11, so I'll just roll with that. But it puts you, because you're taking these steps and you're gaining this knowledge. It could be higher wisdom, and the amount of emotional satisfaction you're receiving from this, it's just putting you in a very, very strong and powerful position within yourself to have confidence with yourself. That's why the Empress is there. She doesn't doubt herself. She just knows. She uses her intuition. This is developing your intuition as well as and your understanding of things, because and you're building more awareness. Knowledge, King of Swords. You know, you could be becoming more sterner. You could realize, like, by learning new things, you start to see the things that people don't actually understand, and that they're following certain things, and you might start to view people differently because of the stuff you're learning, because you might see people that have it wrong, that you think have it wrong, at least, you know, who's actually right. But it's like, but you're also empathetic of them. You have the compassion for them, but you have also this developing vision within you to be able to see what's actually going on in between other people. This is higher knowledge. This is higher knowledge that develops your third eye and your intuition, and you could be focusing on your chakras as an example, and moving in that sort of direction, and spending more time in your spiritual practice. But this is to do with knowledge and listening to your instincts. Your instincts are older than you. Your instincts are older than everyone that's currently alive now, because they've been built and generated over millions of years through evolution. And this is your evolution currently. Like, your evolution right now is developing that, is listening to those internal instincts that are trying to guide you and show you and trying to guide you to a higher knowledge, which the universe is bringing down to you. You're a funnel for the universe. Ooh. Because there has been stuff, like, there has been knowledge that has actually put you in a place of, like, oppression. You felt like you're caged in, and that you feel like there's a lot of weight that just sort of holds you down. And this is where you want to fill in those gaps and gain the knowledge to fill in those gaps. 355. Because instinctually you know that if you don't either fill in these gaps and get rid of stuff, old things, and you're going to continue going around in the same kind of patterns, and you're going to have this just dissatisfaction and unfulfillment with things, you know. And that's what you're ultimately wanting. And when you take this action, when you actually take this swift action, listen to that impulse that suddenly comes out of nowhere, and you try to rationalize it, you get logical about it, right? So you try to rationalize it. You're like, this is what happens to most people when they have these internal instincts that express themselves spontaneously. And when you listen to this, it brings great pleasure because you're listening to it. It's something, it is you. And so when you don't listen to it, you deny it. And now you're actually listening to it. You're taking time to listen to what it's trying to guide you towards. And it's like, it's happy. Like this internal part of yourself is just satisfied. Like it's what's the word I'm looking for here? It is, I can't think of the word. It's there in the back of my mind. It doesn't quite want to come forward. But it's just like, this is fantastic. We're so grateful that you're listening to us. You know, it's something like that. Like it's so overwhelmed, overjoyed that you're listening to it. You're taking the time to listen to it and feel it, really feel it. Let your emotion come through. Don't rationalize it, just let it be and let yourself feel it. Because it could stir up things which aren't actually that positive. And it could be the fact that it stirs up this guilt and shame and disappointment and even resentment from people who have created, helped you build a mindset that isn't stable for you, that you can't keep it up for a long period of time anymore because it just doesn't fit who you really are. 622, 858. Those ones resonate. But this is a commitment to yourself as well. And realizing that you have to make sacrifices too. Like you even being spontaneous in the fact and listening to your instincts and listening to what they're trying to guide you to be like, no, don't do this anymore because it's not actually productive for us in our development. Because naturally inside of us, we have this thing inside of us that calls for us to grow and evolve. It is literally nature. And when you have to grow, you have to make sacrifices. Temperance comes up a lot. And it's essentially saying, like, you need to make some kind of sacrifice that isn't actually building a strong foundation for yourself, because you are building a strong foundation for yourself. As that's how I also see the Four of Wands. It's a commitment, because it is a commitment, and it's creating a structure. And it's because you create the structure by learning more, by actually being impulsive about something that you've wanted to learn for a while, or wanted to understand some new ideas, new concepts, hear things from different places you've never heard from before, you know? And now you're taking the time to actually do that. Six 644. 644. And this is like, even, it's like you gain some kind of knowledge which does bring in, and it does bring in this structure and success, structure and success. And then it just drives you to do more, like learn more. You continue taking this impulsive path because now, because you keep going on this journey and listening to this impulsive, like it's something that's new and it's young and it feels young. You know, this could be even your inner self coming through, like your child self being like, we love to learn. Because your child self, all children love to learn. They always ask questions, and this is what's coming through, is you're needing to ask questions. But because in the initial stages of you learning this new thing, you're able to reorientate yourself in a way that creates more stability in yourself, like it, not in just yourself, but you're able to start reflecting that into the actual world, because you know new things, you've gained new knowledge, you've filled in gaps into your psychological frame, and you're adopting new values, getting rid of old stuff that doesn't serve you, making sacrifices, even getting rid of old people or people that just drain you or don't actually they don't build you up, they don't create more, they don't spread ideas that are actually healthy. Maybe they're not a healthy individual themselves, maybe that's a reflection of yourself. Everything around you is a reflection of yourself, but there's an attainment in all this. You continue going on and building this knowledge as the Empress, and you become more stern and more strong. You're fortified. Got 3 kings, very strong, very fortified. I'm gonna end this here because it's 20 minutes 50 seconds, so I feel like that was a good for 20 minutes. If this resonated with you, do comment down in the comments. I would be interested to hear about your own experiences or whatever you're going towards and trying to create for yourself, or whatever new knowledge you're trying to learn and gain. And it'd be really interesting because I like to learn. If you enjoy this content and you want to see more of it, subscribe. Please do subscribe, because then I'm wanting to do more of this sort of stuff where I can give people something, or people can resonate, or they can learn new things at least, because that's something that's internally within me wants to really do. It wants to teach people, or just suggest new ideas. Like, no one has to take on board everything I say, no one has to. But I like to say the things I say because they are part of my truth. So, and that's important to me. Anyway, I really, really appreciate you being here and taking the time to sit to be here with me in this reading. And I will see you again some other time. Farewell.